easily entry from. Also, first map of the day, but there you go. Maverick being banned immediately by Millenium.
Not really surprising there. I mean, new operator, and especially on Villa, could cause a lot of havoc silently, especially on that Aviator and Games Room site. 5 reinforced walls, all facing the 90 hallway. Glaz is going to be the second ban. That's an interesting one for Villa. I think really only like the kitchen smoke push is really where we've seen a Glaz be super effective on Villa. I think the top 4 sites, there's a lot of visibility from outside you can get on the balconies, whether it's master balcony or study balcony. But there's not a lot of pushing power with Glaz on Villa. Mira coming off the board as well, like Parker said. Pretty standard, nothing new there. And there goes the clash on Villa. So both new operators for Grimsky going to be taken out in the first semifinal. Glaz and Mira the other two. The Glaz is interesting, it leaves Lion on the board. Very aggressive operator for either team on the attack to use. It will be Cloud9 starting out on the attack for the first half. And Millenium electing to head to kitchen and dining room first, not the most common primary site on Villa.
No, but I mean, at the same time, there is really no defined first or second site. You know, we say that the ranked style or the competitive style is to go upstairs into that, what's it called, the Aviator room, Aviator Games room, as it's called, or you know, a lot of people just refer to it as bar or pool table as well, just because typically your landmark callouts are the easiest thing to go with. Kitchen is one that we've seen a couple teams roll on, as you mentioned, that the Glaz has a lot of pushing power on this, especially if you can enter through that small door over by the, I believe it's the B site that's inside of the kitchen. And I mean, hey, like I said, we're still trying to see exactly how that shapes out. Now, that also sounds like that might be an Ella shotgun on Rise. I could be wrong. It is indeed. So, this is going to be very interesting, the way that Millenium runs this composition. Now, they'll be having Rise roam, likely in conjunction with Aces, and then you've got Renshiro there as well. But, I mean, you've got Super Liven, as he goes by now, as he's back to the old Super moniker. It worked well for him last time. I was delightful, because he said that he needed it in Paris. He said he needed to go with Super Liven to give himself some good luck, and he got it in that particular match. So just a nice bit of change here for them to go back to that. I'm excited to see exactly what Cloud9's going to do. You'll likely see them start from the top and then clear down. And with Kitchen, there's a lot of destructible floors. A bit early on, though, you're going to see the maestro of Hicks just fire a couple bullets through that one door towards the outside and the exterior where all of Cloud9 was getting spawned at, and there was Laxing, who saw the bullets just rattle right by.
Aggressive play there from Millenium, and I think this was an aggressive bomb choice as well. It might have thrown Cloud9 off. They're only bringing the Habana, and typically you see a Thermite come out when you know you're going to be attacking kitchen and dining room. Fox has gone all the way downstairs with the Jackal, like Alex touched on pregame. He's got the hatch open to look, but no one playing the hatch currently. Popping up the stairs now. Slowly, it's going to be a battle between Renshiro and Foxe. They're going to come to blows right outside the door. Slowly peeking in. A drone on escort gets destroyed, and he's going to back off. Foxe not trying to re-engage too early. He's trying to let his team develop the push a little bit further, and I think that's a smart play from Foxe. Previously, from a lot of players on Cloud9, we'd see just the tendency for them to jump in and go for those individual plays whenever they thought possible. And it's nice to see that they're actually playing a little more reserved right now. Yeah,
well, I mean, you can't take that aggression to a team like Millenium. They'll feast you, alive on it. And the other thing with Millenium is that EU as a whole is a much more methodical region. It's not quite as aggressive, especially when you look at the countrymen of Millenium, and that's Vitality, of course. Very first kill is going to be Mark. That's Aces, the brand new member. And as Rise with that shotgun tries to rotate back to sight, a call made from Millenium. Foxe will be there on that Jackal, as we mentioned, to cut him off. So a good start to be able to get 2 off the board in 2 minutes, 469.
60 seconds remaining. A first smoke canister comes out from Foxe to disorient the vision of any of the defenders looking towards the bottom of the astronomy stairs door. Spots out Liven in the back. All 3 defenders playing on site. One has rotated downstairs. I believe it's Renshiro on the Bandit. Liven's going to drop Foxe as he tries to push through the kitchen door. Holding the A-bomb now is Renshiro. He's elected to stay on site, and he drops Retro, leveling man count. 40 seconds. Cloud9 a little separated on their push still. Very segmented and separated across the map. Renshiro with good visibility in the back by the side entrance. And Liven occupied with, I believe, Laxing downstairs. 26 ticking away. Liven just being a nuisance and a distraction. Here comes Laxing trying to push through. and he's going to halt up and turn around. Live and going to be coming up on the flank right behind Laxing. Renshiro as well holding from the dark room entrance. Laxing is going to hear Hicks, though, and drop him. And a wonderful shot by Goddess. Live on the flank drops Laxing. It's down to the 1v2. Goddess going in for the plant in behind B. Mark with the cover. Live needs to peek out and get aggressive, but Mark's going to hit the shot as he runs across. And C9 are going to take round number 1 on the attack. Even when attacking a bomb site, they most likely weren't expecting to come out primarily. Yeah,
it was a good recovery from them. Unfortunate for Millenium that they got caught in that rotate, especially Rise in particular. I really wanted to see what the strategy was with that Ella. I mentioned it yesterday that the Scorpion on Ella went, untested for unnerfed or unchecked for so long, widely considered to be at probably the best gun in the game for quite a period of time. But nobody really knowing that the shotgun also extremely strong, and especially at close quarter ranges, which is the way that you're going to take Ella in most circumstances now. She's not going to be somebody that you're going to take a long range engagement with the way that she used to. The spread on that gun, especially the Scorpion, is just, it's unmanageable at a long distance. And now you find using those Guzman mines on all the different doorways, anchoring down a specific area, then, hey, you end up in a position where that shotgun can be really, really effective. Also, it appears that we're going to have a Finca, but no, that's just going to be a bait, and we're switched off. A nice UI change. I don't know exactly when it rolled in, but back when they used to 6-pick, when it was first introduced, it didn't show the original operator. Now you can see in the left corner what it was being switched off of. Super Live and going from Pulse to Castle, so trading out the UMP for a bit more utility to help on site.
Heading top side, Millenium now, not going to necessarily pull an EG and try and run the same site that they're unsuccessful on. Gonna head up to Trophy and Statue Room. Another odd choices. Like you said, typically the primary site would be on the opposite side of the top floor, but also, as you said, not much of an established meta on Villa still. It's still very new, and that's typical with new maps coming out. It takes a couple seasons for everyone to kind of understand and flesh out all the details they want to work on, especially on a map with this much real estate. You really have to take your time with it. You don't want to rush anything. I'm fascinated that Cloud9 actually took it as their first pick. It's one of those maps that I used to talk about saying it would level the scales. So maybe Cloud9 feeling a little undermatched here and just want to throw Millenium off their home turf and just make them feel a little more uncomfortable. Doing well so far, picking up the first round. I was very impressed with Laxing's decision as well to not press the engagement against Live and downstairs. Instead, again, playing reserved, aggressing to the site when his teammates were pushing, listening to the comms. Cloud9 working as a unit. It's impressive to see so far in just one round from Cloud9, but we also saw them against Mocket doing a little bit more of the same thing.
Yeah. Goddess is going to be doing most primary plants, and I like the way that they had that coverage there. There was almost no way for Liven to be able to retake that site. Not with Mark there as a bodyguard. Now, if you don't have Mark covering that exact angle, that could have just been information that was provided very accurately from maybe one of the dead teammates, but a good call, and Mark just had his sights trained on the doorway. No way for the Pulse to be able to retake. 1 minute into round number 2 here, and we'll see exactly what's going to shape up. Usually taking control of this master bedroom and master bathroom is the primary focus for attackers. There is also a 3-panel wall that is available for any hard breacher to possibly get through. That sole hard breacher is going to be Goddess holding onto that diffuser as Rise on that Jaeger, as I talked about at the very start of the broadcast, able to pick off the very first kill. Now, the one thing to his detriment was that Foxay runs a very similar pattern with Jackal. The last time we watched Villa, Mark's gonna just waltz right in and Aces is caught looking. That's an easy finish, but Rise going for his second kill, unable to muscle Mark off of the beat, and that's the Zofia dropping 2 in very quick succession.
5 inches away inside the vault, having a staring contest. No one wanting to make the first move. Mark going for a 3K to set the pace. Only kill so far now for C9 on the round as the rest of the team is pushing the objective. Foxay went on that solo push up those east stairs. No one moving. No one wanting to break their focus, make a sound. Oh, it's going to be Mark to break first. Starts to move, and there's no way that Liven doesn't hear that. Gonna press the corner, taking it quickly, lighting up the backside, but Mark escapes to safety. Doesn't have cover from any of his teammates on site, but it will be Hicks pressing out of the objective doorway to drop Mark. Ends his run of terror. Renshaw holding the doorway, waiting for Retro to peek. He's got the face shield on, directing a little bit longer, relaxing to grab one before immediately traded out. Down to the 2v2, Retro holding the angle, and Liven almost walks into it to line up for the double kill. Liven alone in a 1v2 again, and it's Retro to close it out. C9 putting Liven in a 1v2 consecutive rounds, and they're gonna be up 2-0 for it.
Excellent job. This is the way that Cloud9 uses Retro, as a lot of teams will do with the Blackbeard. Very similar actually to the way that Millenium uses Renshiro on Blackbeard, but a bit more restrained, is that I watched Retro for about 2 rounds in the EG matchup yesterday while you two were doing the broadcast on stream. And Retro will literally creep up and just hold an angle for 2 straight minutes, sitting completely immobilized as the rest of the team works around it. Now, for the people that might be uninitiated, it can look like baiting. It can look like he's sitting, you know, he's letting the rest of the team down, things are going in motion. But the intention behind what he does is perfect. They use him the way they need to use him. And a lot of people, I think, would be too critical, thinking that Retro might be a little bit far off of the push, but you just saw right there, he's able to get 2 kills by simply holding an angle, waiting, and catching them as they rotated, which is what C9 tries to do. They try to flush people into Retro on the EG matchup on Consulate. Retro, as Blackbeard, would just sit at the bottom stairs of Visa and just watch one angle for a minute and a half, all the way to the back of White Van, and any rotation that could come from Evil Geniuses, either through that staff break room or through the area next to White Van, well, Retro's there, and that Blackbeard's gun, whether you're using the Scar or the DMR, that thing's gonna kill you pretty fast. Cloud9 managing to, on their map, take 2 rounds here, not just off of good coordinated play, but also a couple mistakes from Millennium's part, especially Aces now, who has not had a very good start to this matchup. He's been caught looking twice out of position and just wandering kind of aimlessly right into an attacker.
It looked like it was also Aces' job to have the cover of, I forget who it was, I believe it was Rise, who was holding inside of Games Room or Aviator, just that objective on the far side, and it was Mark that took the angle from study door, walked straight through, and he was allowed. You heard the 416 bullets rattling behind him, but they weren't able to connect, and Mark was able to get to safety, get the pick, get a second pick onto Aces as he tried to peek the door, and almost get a third onto Liven.
He's very close, and a good spearhead there from Mark, using his Zofia very aggressively in comparison to what we saw in round number 1, which was that Mark was doing more escort duty for the bomb, as we saw, sticking quite close with Goddess. There was also an impact trick that it looked like to be able to save that wall, so Millennium was gifted the security of those reinforcements, but they weren't really needed, as Cloud9 just was able to out-frag Millennium, and out-frag their opponents is something that Cloud9 has been doing quite well, especially when you look at Mark and Laxing's stats for this weekend. They've been really impressive.
They've been on point, so we're almost hitting the midway point in the round. No frags yet, and I imagine that's because C9 are moving fairly slowly because Millennium have elected to go to Library, and I don't even know what the other site's called on this one. But
I believe it's Library. I think it's Living Room and Library, if I remember correctly.
Living Room and Library,
sounds about right. So infrequently downstairs that it's just, it's odd because we don't really know exactly how it plays out. There's such a small amount of times that we've seen it.
It's got to slow Cloud9 down, as I imagine, as few times as we see it played on live matches. I'm sure teams aren't scrimming it to the absolute most, so this is going to be an on-the-fly strategy. Mark taking a little bit of damage from the smoke Toxic Babe as he launches in an impact to open up a soft wall on the objective. Cloud9 trying to complete their collapse, but they haven't done what they did previously. Retro losing a face shield and a lot of health, down to about 28. As he holds those stairs, being peeked now by Renshiro. The softwall behind him erupts from bullets coming back through a wooden barricade as well, and the softwall at him. 35 seconds, and we're at a 5v5 standstill right now. Millennium holding quite firm, not getting caught out of position, and the slowdown from Cloud9 is detrimental to their push. Rise holding the corner of the doorway, the shotgun going to detonate another Toxic Babe. Again, repelling the entry of Cloud9 into the objective, trying to breach the wall now in an all-or-nothing send. Cloud9 in a very dangerous position as this is going to come down to a frag fest with 15 seconds. They all start peeking. Liven grabs one and Rise with the shotgun on the doorway. Foxay trades out Renshiro and it all breaks down. A Nitro misses the rush through and Retro's going to get down. They all fall like dominoes. Liven, Rise, and Hicks all jumping in, and Millenium secure their first round on possibly the most obscure bomb site on Villa.
Yeah, and I mean, this also could be that Cloud9 doesn't feel comfortable taking that site at all, because you see it, like I said, so frequently that it's very difficult for you to know exactly how you want to combat a defense. Also, they got very aggressive with Retro, and because of the important role that Retro does play, if you can take that Blackbeard out of action, you can end up not having, you know, Cloud9 cleave through half of your defense. So if, as we saw, Retro on stairs, if they were able to pressure the Blackbeard off, then when the rest of Cloud9 starts to push, which came very late, I think it was 20 seconds, give or take, when we actually saw the first round of Xkaros go down, which is quite belated in terms of when you should be starting your push.
Locate and defuse bombs.
That usually is going to favor the defenders, especially when they got that much utility. And the smoke that was just sitting watching the doorway, throwing down those toxic babes with the shotgun trained right at the open door. You're not going to survive much of that.
No, it's a very slow push from Cloud9. I was pretty surprised to see the objective come out as just an observer here, and I'm sure Cloud9 were not all too prepared, but finally we run the gauntlet of objectives on Villa. Finally, Aviator and Games Room will be elected as the fourth bomb site to head to for Millenium. Not the most ordinary rotation of objectives here today for Millenium on Villa. We'll have one more crack at the defense before heading to the other side to battle out Cloud9's defense, which I imagine will be a little more standard unless they've prepped something. Them picking Villa as their first map makes me believe that they have at least something up their sleeve. This is the semifinals, so we're no longer dealing... Oh, the pre-fire through the window almost lands on Rise's head as he runs straight past the soft wall above those stairs. But as I was saying, I don't imagine anyone's going to be holding back here. No one's game planning to hide some strategies. It's the semifinals. You want your shot in the grand finals for that slot at the Invitational in 2019 in February. Evil Eye spotted out and disabled by an EMP momentarily. Retro joining the objective as that Blackbeard, most likely going to be posted up on the study balcony as he's currently repelled outside, waiting for anyone to get a little too cheeky and try and go for the peak. Millenium didn't do that last time around. It was the first two rounds where they tried to engage on the roam. They were just kind of solo holding and duo holding other areas of the map that were influential for C9 to take, and they're getting caught off guard pretty bad. Last time around, no one really caught out, and Foxay was the biggest proponent of determining where that roam was going to be, as the Jackal hasn't really done a whole lot of finding anyone on Millenium yet, at least on their roam game.
It looks like Millenium might actually be playing a bit more constrained because C9 was doing a fairly respectable job of finding those roamers early on and putting that pressure down. You know, Rise being able to run Rough Sod over an uncoordinated attack is a big part of why Millenium is able to achieve so much on defense. If you prevent him from doing that, well, a nice reflexive shot onto Mark. Possibly one that Mark should have won. You see that Rise will not remain unscathed. He loses a lot of health in the process, and then Foxay with those shots through the reinforcements also looked like he was going to tag up Super Liven, who, after losing about a quarter of his health, will drop back down. Rise was just on a fraction of HP, and what little was left will be finished off by Laxing, and we'll be back to a 4v4. But hey, look at that. It's taken 2 minutes to get to this point. Sophia getting tossed away from Cloud9, the operator that Mark has been using quite consistently, is a pretty big blow, and Hicks really unlucky there. Probably a mistake. He tosses that Evil Eye away, trying to harass the Blackbeard of Retro.
Pinching down upon Liven now, the pulse being Jackal pinged to nauseam as back and forth. Laxing and Foxay trying to pinch him out and hold his rotate out. The Jackal ping's never ending as Liven has got nowhere to go, but he is doing a good job of wasting time and drawing the focus. Laxing firing through the doorway on a pixel angle will down and finish off Liven as the rest of the push will now commence. It was really just Retro and Goddess, but now Foxay and Laxing will join in as they all start to collapse, and looks like they're pushing from multiple angles. This could be fairly disjointed as no one's covering Goddess, and there goes the diffuser as Hicks laying prone inside of Aviator will drop her down.
Attackers have recovered.
Legion Goo-Mines coming into the door as it's going to be another rush and another bloodbath. Laxing going to drop aces, but they still have to worry about Hicks laying prone. He's right behind the couch. The smoke canister coming out, and the plant going to be attempted after the Claymore gets dropped. No, Hicks will be felled, and now Renshiro alone. No chance to pick him up. Foxay cleans his kill. Rushing in will drop Retro. The plant being completed behind the vault door. Holding pressing the angle is Foxe, and Cloud9 up 3-1. That's math, yeah, 3-1.
They're just eating them alive at the moment, and I think Millenium looks really lost as to where Cloud9 is coming from, especially these roamers that are getting pinched so early on. We saw a great entry there from both Foxe and Laxing, and Liven dropping, having to use that Nitro Cell, and unfortunately for him, the Nitro Cell could have been a pretty handy tool to fight off two attackers pushing you, especially if you could possibly chuck out that explosive and maybe take Foxe down before Laxing was there. But yet again, Laxing almost picks up 3 kills on that round 2 for him, and then Foxe grabs the 3rd right out from underneath the Thatcher, who'd been credited with the down. This is not the Millenium that I've come to see. This is, you know, it wasn't the evil geniuses that we've come to see. This is also not the Cloud9 that I've come to see. This is probably the best series of matches that I've ever seen this team play over their time here in Montreal. And now they find themselves on the final round of the first half against Noble, which was the last time that we witnessed Cloud9 play this map on Villa. They ran up the score on attack before Noble did the exact same thing on their attack. So it could just be that the way these teams play quite aggressively. But take a look at the bottom of Millenium's scoreboard. Part of the reason why Millenium has not been able to pick up the pace yet, the person that should be setting the trend line for that team in terms of fragging power, Aces, 0 kills on the board right now. So still searching for his first contribution in terms of gun skill. And as much as we like to say that, you know, your KD is not important, your kill-death ratio, kills are not the be-all and end-all, and people fixate on how much you're adding with kills. Ace's job is to get kills. So by the fact that he has 0, that means he's failing at his duty, whereas an Anchor having 0 is a completely different story. And as I said, I think the fortunes of Millenium ride on how well Aces is capable of playing, because for the time being, he's just getting found early and taken out of action before he can really do much of anything at all.
So, heading back now, Trophy and Master Bedroom.
Statuary, as it's technically called, and Rise is going to take out Foxe right off of Rappel. This will be the 2nd opening kill in a row for the Jaeger of Rise.
It's also the 2nd time Foxe has been the opening pick within the first minute as that Jackal. So roam clear, not so monumental in this round. It's going to be Liven alone, it looks like, as Rise was headed up the astronomy stairs to join him, but I think he has returned to the objective. No, he's going to be joining in the bathroom instead. Holding outside on the balcony, RC9, and this is a pretty standard take for Statue and Trophy. Nothing too shocking. The biggest thing to me is Hicks, is he was allowed to kind of sit in a very, let's say, unusual and very unprotected position last time, laying prone behind the couch. It was a very standard spot. And with that ACOG to Alda, I imagine he's going to be doing more of the same, trying to get those long angles, probably behind a bookcase from over in Trophy. Looks like he's prone again on the ground and behind the B bomb. Ping's coming out, but nothing anyone can really do about it yet. Retro going to be the first to engage up against Aces, who's, as Parker said, not had the best start on the first half. As we close it out on the last attacking round for Cloud9, they all start to collapse, and 90 seconds in, they're in a good spot, but Rensure with the Nitro from below as another one drops to support Liven. 1 Nitro, Mark already pressing the objective as Cloud9 surrounding the bomb site. Hicks down to about 1 HP. And as is Mark, takes a lot of damage from the Alda. It's a firefight back and forth, but no one able to secure the kills.
Smart time to reload there, just very low on HP. There's Laxing and Mark doubling up, 2 members of Millenium down, and still got that LMG that was playing on site, but Hicks has retreated into Astronomy. Aces will find his very first kill coming in round number 5 as the Zofia of Mark will be vanquished with just a minute to go. That's utility gone and fragging potential, sure, but for the rest of Millenium, you find yourselves in an advantage. Hicks is next to no HP, but you've still got the Bandit as well as the Pulse upright, and C9 waiting to maybe try and get one more clear as Laxing will need to get back to aid Goddess. She seems to be just sitting in sight, waiting for the call, possibly to go for an execute here. 30 seconds. Very similar to what we saw when on the very first defensive victory for Millenium. This is Cloud9 taking their sweet time. Laxing will find yet another kill. This will be on the Hicks as pings for Aces and Liven come down. Plant going down, and Aces just trying to determine where exactly this plant is. Laxing position in Astro will get taken down by Aces, and Liven will have to retreat back to site. Aces very low on HP, a winnable situation for Goddess, and probably one of the best defuse clutch players that we've seen over the last couple DreamHack tournaments. The amount of 1vx's she wins is very high. She'll spot Liven, take him down. Aces just on a tiny bit of HP. One bullet will do it. With Diffuser down, they'll circle each other. Aces trying to get up, nice and close to that Diffuser. But behind Goddess, he'll come in, and she gets bamboozled. Can't get the reflexive shot in time. Aces picking up a pair of kills when his team needed it the most, and getting the Diffuser, and Millenium will survive the first half. Going down 3-2, but not letting that gap widen.
No, Goddess even unable to clutch out, but it was her team that was letting her down that round. Really disappointed to see Foxay go for that aggressive and a repel so early, dropping, especially when he's part of that roam clear. And the roam game mentality for Millenium, at least on their defensive side, has clearly been verticality. They've been playing the pulse a lot. Liven's been roaming around or with impacts below. We had 2 nitros from below that round, 1 connecting. And it left when Goddess was alone in the objective with Diffuser. We're looking around, she's laying prone for 30, 45 seconds in the objective. Where's Laxing? He's alive. Goddess needs help, he's on the other floor. He's hunting the pulse alone. He's trying to remove Liven from play so that that heartbeat sensor and nitro cell still in his hand can't destroy the plant when it goes down. Just Foxay really letting his team down there by trying to push in, or not even push in, just a poor repel and trying to get way too aggressive on the objective too early and just not having the support later on to go for the proper roam clear like was intended. If Foxay was still alive, finding Liven would have been easy.
So he's actually picking up 3 kills on that round. He was able to take out Laxing, credited for that kill when he and Liven had done some work together. With the side switch as they come, Liven going on to Lion. So an interesting swap up there. Renshiro on the Blackbeard, credited by Canadian. And a previous DreamHack is saying Renshiro just doesn't miss. Well, we'll see how capable he is of doing that. Also, what possibly eluded Cloud9 was that Retro had the misfortune of turning on the doorway right as Aces peaked. If Retro hadn't done that, his reticle was aimed right at the head of the bandit, providing his reflexes were good enough. That would have been an easy kill to silence the bandit, who then later became pivotal in the retake for Millenium. And that's just a bad stroke of luck. Similar to Foxay, I don't know necessarily if Foxay's was reckless. It seemed more that it was just unfortunate timing. But when you're rappelling up on the bathroom and the site is trophy statuary, you're bound to know somebody's likely going to be playing in that master bathroom. But, I mean, it's a gamble for the defenders as well. You've got to have somebody who has a sturdy shot. That's Rise in this particular case, was the Jaeger at the time. But with the side swap, we'll get underway with round number 6. 1 round of XKROs used on the castle barricade. That'll look in towards that vault wall. You have Renshiro and repelled on a Blackbeard. There he goes. Possibly towards the window as he was standing out on that ceramic balcony that they have available for them. For the attackers.
Yes, our 25 booming as it lost a little bit of damage in the most, not the most recent update, one previous to that, but nonetheless, still a wonderful weapon. And on the new recoil update, I think we've talked about recoil plenty of times now on Grim Sky, but everything is just slightly more manageable other than secondary SMGs. Millenium all coalescing outside of the far side from the objective, looking to go for a south to north clear. Pretty standard flashbangs being launched in behind the bar, and that's going to be Foxay completely blinded. There's no cover from the vault, but Foxay's still going to stand and fight, and he's going to drop Aces again, having some trouble early on. Goddess going to drop Rise as well. Looking into the bar is Liven, but he's not pulling the trigger. He doesn't want to jump, and he'll get down and finished off by Laxing on a flank. Hicks now on 5 HP trying to rush in. Laxing with another one, and it's all up to the Renshiro Blackbeard, repelled on 90 window. They all get gunned down, trying to attack the opposite side of the map from the objective. Can't get the roam clear down. Very tentative and timid play, losing the shield, and you said Renshiro doesn't miss. Well, he missed a hell of a lot right there.
Yeah. Laxing just once again getting away with so many kills. I am honestly just in awe of the way that Laxing is able to get these kills that he literally just pulls out of nowhere. And Renshiro, yeah, missing there under pressure. I don't think he was expecting the bandit. As you saw, he had his reticle trained at what would have been height level on the plateau, on the main level between the 2 sets of stairs, but the bandit played their railing really tight, managed to come up and pop out, and Renshiro having to readjust, shooting at the ankles of the Bandit, but obviously with that single shot DMR, you're gonna do a lot of damage.
Trophy and Statue had nothing to do with Trophy and Statue that round. Just the anchorage on the far side of the map. Foxay with a 6-pick to a Caveira from an Echo. That is also a play you could make. We've seen a little bit of Caveira, but it was from, why am I blanking? Was it?
I think it was the Cav. I think the Cav that we saw
Noble.
was vertical. It was also vertical on Mouse, running the Cav against the BYOC team that we saw yesterday. So.
And Noble against the BYOC team, I believe, Honor on Clubhouse.
Well, I mean, and on very large maps, Foxay looking at a trophy that he longs to win at some point. That is, of course, the Invitational Trophy. That is the Hammer of Sledge that is awarded in Montreal. So we're in the right city for it, at least, but wrong tournament in order to get it. And also, the last time that a North American team won any international competition outside of regional competitions. So the only time that North America has won events on a global stage were, of course, the finals of year one, season 3, which is when Continuum won at the time, now known as Evil Geniuses, and then Continuum winning the Invitational in Montreal all the way back in the spring, technically winter spring, of 2017. That's how long it's been since a North American team has captured a title when competing against teams from other parts of the world. Millenium bringing a Buck. This is not something I see a lot of. Rise on Buck is a new change because typically he'll be running more of those utility-based operators with good fragging potential. Buck fits that role quite well, but on a map with as much destructibility, soft destruction in particular, Buck seems like he's gonna have a good fit here on Villa, even though his pick rate doesn't tend to be that high.
No, back in the day before this new update, it took a certain kind of someone to be able to control the recoil of the C8. Very fast rate of fire, high damage per second, but pretty wild recoil. It's now much more manageable on Grim Sky, I think. Even if you're rocking it with an ACOG, it is still a fantastic weapon now. The recoil's been smoothed out quite a bit, much more consistent as well. Not as a lot of the horizontal recoil that would screw a lot of people up. Hicks rushing into 90. Looks like I want to open up the vault wall. That's not the most common strategy to get in towards Aviator in games. Typically we see either the study balcony utilized or everyone pushing in towards the vault door on the far side from where they're attacking now. One bandit trick successful. Going for another one. This Goddess is going to hear the EMP go off.
So that's both exothermic charges that Hicks unable to get down. That is a huge blow. Not just bandit tricking, as they weren't even really actively bandit tricking. Goddess came down and put down one battery, but in trying to avoid getting impact tricked, they decided to throw the exothermic charge down on the floor, as it'll blow up the floor as well as the wall. Some airmail from Rise as he tosses in a frag grenade through that top ledge just over top of the reinforcement, but doesn't find a target. All the while, this Caveira, Foxay, has he been spotted out? That is the big question. In order to prevent the bandit tricking and freeze everybody in place, the first EOD will go down, and then those two sets of X-Kairos will open up enough of a hole to get access to that billiards table. But Foxay's still on this roam, and this Caveira could be a potential headache, as we only have 30 seconds left, and, well, we know how much damage Cav does. If there is no susceptible flank watch, Foxay could be primed and in great position to be able to get a whole host of downs here. And of course, part of Cav's ability is how quiet they can go. First kill is going to be Goddess, but Retro and Mark are there. Laxing falls, and that's the hard carry of C9. But Mark will do the work for them. They'll have to be getting the plan down as the clock is going to strike 0, but no, they'll just wait it out. No opportunity for the plan to go down, even as Liven gets the Caveira returning to site, and that's match point for Cloud9. We could be in for a very short affair between these two teams, as this is all C9 all the way down.
We're looking at possibly another 6-2, and that scoreline is starting to become a little too popular for my liking, but nonetheless, everyone on Cloud9 showing up right now, and yeah, you're right, the Caveira could have done a lot of damage there, but actually didn't do anything in the round, and I don't even know if Millenium knew that the Caveira existed. It would explain why they were moving so slowly and were being so timid and hunting in packs, really. You never really saw someone go for a solo push until about with 30 seconds left. I forget who it was, but someone on Millenium immediately vaulted a staircase, went downstairs, and went for a sprint across.
It was Liven, who actually was trying to push up those stairwells, ended up catching Fox and tried to rotate in. I'm assuming maybe to pick up the diffuser or even go for a plant. It didn't end up working, though.
Mm-hmm. So if Millenium had spotted at the Cav in prep or on an early drone path, then by all means, I understand the hesitance to rush in and be separated and go on a solo push, but at some point you have to initiate the roam clear or ignore it entirely and push directly for that objective, and they tried to. They just... None of that breaching potential really got used. They opened up a little bit of the vault wall after the bandit charges from Goddess were removed. But again, the same thing that happened to Cloud9 when attacking library and living room. 15 seconds left and it's a 5v5. 99% of the time that goes the defender's way because, as you said, the close range, higher rate of fire weapons, smaller optics, and all the utility they have.
Unless you're Vitality.
Unless you're Vitality,
and
yeah.
And then Vitality usually wins.
Yeah.
So... But that is a
no
very,
one knows how.
That is a strat that is, those are strats that are very unique to that team, as nobody else is capable of doing it. You'll get, you know, Meepy from Secret put this so well, just to talk on Vitality for those that don't understand the reference. A French team who are notorious for holding angles, double, triple, quadruple droning, and then using the final 40, 30 seconds to push. As Meepy put it, you'll get droned once. Okay, I'm gonna get pushed. Nothing. 20 seconds later, you get droned again. All right, now I'm gonna get pushed. Nothing. Third drone. All right, now I'm gonna get pushed. Oh, Foxy absorbing an awful lot of damage as the Maestro playing downstairs. The basement area, now a Dokkaebi call will come in. This is going to be Millenium using everything at their disposal to just bulldoze right in. Barbed wire destroyed, Lion call now as well. And Cloud9 is going to be absolutely pinned down as both Mark and Foxy taking some damage. Foxy will be finished off before Goddess is able to refrag, and Trader and Shiro. Aces is there to get laxing, and Hicks jumps in. This is Millenium doing a great job of seizing the opportunity. Retro down and now finished off. Mark is last man left. Got a UMP, he'll absorb a lot of damage before taking out Aces, but Diffuser going down, and Mark will have to try to work his way through his own castle barricade. Pings from the defense will try to assist him, and Diffuser going down means, well, hey, Mark's now gonna work with a little bit of time going against him. Gets droned out, maybe look for a rotate in through that bicycle room on red stairs, but this is an almost unwinnable situation as he's doing just a bit of remodeling on that portrait wall, knowing that he's going to have to rotate. Doesn't have any impact grenades available to him. He'll go through the basement instead, essentially doing what is our version of saving the op, Robert, in a round where you're not even going to get to speak because it was over so fast.
Yeah.
There you go. You got to say something.
I got to say something. It looks like Mark, if he had thought of the downstairs flank in time, might have been able to do something, but it was just way too late. Everyone on Cloud9 going to regroup. There's still technically an attack break for them for free. Didn't have to stop anything. They get to all assess the situation, and the biggest assessment of that situation is, wow, Millenium turned on the jets. That was just an abusive rush of the site.
Well, I mean, that's one of the only sites in the entire map where you literally go through one doorway and then there's just another doorway stopping you from getting inside. You know, you had Rise as the spearhead there using the 2 grenade launchers to blow open that barbed wire, Dokkaebi phone call, and then the Lion. You just got a lot of issues to deal with as the rest of Millenium can take that time, those 4, 5, 6 seconds, however long it takes you for the Lion to finish up, and then to silence your phone, possibly 4 seconds if you're quick enough, but hey, you take that opportunity to just take as much map control away. They didn't really need all that much map control. They just bum rushed the site. That was it.
Well, the setup for Cloud9 was very rough for a retake, as you saw by Mark floundering outside in the hallway. Both the castle barricades is your real options. There's no hatches directly above those objectives, so yeah, you gotta kind of go through the doorways. The bike room rotate, like you talked about, wasn't opened up entirely. Try to shoot it open with a UMP, and caliber-based destruction is not gonna be your friend when you have a UMP on hand, so downstairs was all he had. I think if those castle barricades were repositioned to slow down that rush, I mean, they had a Sophia and an Ash, like, it would have slowed down 5 seconds, but it also would have given them a sound cue to notice, oh crap, they are coming for us. Everyone needs to reposition, and it also would have allowed a swifter retake of the objective by the defenders who were offsite.
So could this possibly be Cloud9 being able to put it away? They've only had 1 crack on match point. This will be their second. They'll head upstairs to the trophy statuary room, which is an interesting spot to see defenders go down. It usually tends to be more defender-sided than it's not. that will bode well for Cloud9, all things considered, but it really comes down to how they play it again. Millenium, once again, bringing a composition that will allow them to go in quite fast. The Dokkaebi Lion combo was used effectively last round. Of course, there's no Zofia on the board. They're going to use the Buck, which was the last time we saw a Buck go out. Happened to be on this site, if I recall correctly. It was indeed this site, but Cloud9 was able to win it, and Cloud9 won it last time. It's open again. The Buck was not that huge of a factor. And as you said, nothing even really fought around Trophy or Statuary that time around. Most of the engagement happened in that classical hall over by the games room before Millenium could even make it in the building. If they fail to make it in the building this time around and lose one or two early on, surely it will snowball, and Cloud9 will move us to Consulate up 1-0.
Looks like C9 have retrofitted their hold, and also Millenium, they're not going to mess with the far side roam at all, even if it is present from Cloud9. They're, again, going to assault the objective directly, trying to pull off, I guess, a better execution of what EG were attempting yesterday against Rogue. Laxing in a battle with Aces. He's trying to come up the astronomy stairs. Laxing holding it down for now. Trying to get some vertical destruction as the Buck of Rise is rushing into sight with the rest of the team, so it's going to be up to Aces to try and display some of these anchors. First EOD goes out, locking the defenders in place as everyone on Millenium shifts to set up for this final execute onto the site. And I say final, but I mean we still have 90 seconds left in the round.
And that's the exothermic charge being successful here. So that's a line of sight from the exterior of Villa all the way in towards the trophy site that's now been opened up. Ace is also just missing the Maestro of Goddess as one of those Ash charges blows up at her feet. The Maestro's gonna have to lumber on. Now another's gonna go, and that's Ace is using the most of his gadget that he possibly can in a position where you usually see a Buck arriving. But here we go, final EE1D. The phone calls have already come out from Dokkaebi. So Millenium using the opportunity to pin everybody down and probably line things up, but not quite that brazen rush that we saw. Renshiro just holding a nice tight angle to see if the Bandit is going to peek. But look at this, Laxing is already at the top of the stairs, so we're gonna have another scenario where Renshiro is gonna be looking at the feet of a 3-speed operator rather than possibly the head. That was obviously a headshot is a one-shot kill. ADS burning that concussive blast, but there's Aces being able to get his teammate Renshiro almost assuredly dead there, but the Ash on those stairs will now pick up 2, and this is the Aces that Millenium sought out and why they added them to the team.
The Aces saving grace thus far. 2 frags going for more as the rest of Millenium flank through astronomy to try and grab some more site control. Live and takes down Goddess, losing a lot of health in the objectives. Retro as he finally falls. It's Fox in a 1v5, drops Live and goes for the flank through Master. There's another down attacker, and Renshiro falls as well. 1v2 with the rush by Ace. He's gonna grab 3 on the round. And Millenium again staving off the loss of map number 1. Not ready to go to Consulate just yet.
Countered that one very effectively. Almost too passive a game from Cloud9 in that respect. Just simply waiting back. And I think they assessed that correctly at face value, which is that you know they're going to be bringing those Lion. You know that Dokkaebi's going to be coming, but maybe not establishing enough map control. When they lost that wall into the site from the exothermic charge, they didn't have a lot of cover to really work with. It forced them to have to scramble and reposition across the way. And one of the most unique parts of the Trophy Statuary I almost said website, the Trophy Statuary site is that you have that long sight looking through both of them just underneath the skylight. Not connected, so you have to run around, but you still allow either the attackers or the defenders to exchange fire from quite a distance. A 6-pick now on to Capcan. How do you stop a rush? 2 rounds in a row that Millenium have just been able to get in as quickly as they can. How do you slow that down? Traps. That's why you got the Legion and the Capcan there. Now, there was a Legion from Fox the previous round. They had Laxing playing on Bandits. They swapped it. Now you've got Fox and another trap operator, and Laxing has picked up the mantle of Legion.
Laxing hitting double digits in another map. It's been a common theme for him this entire tournament. Dominating the frag game, and Cloud9, a 5-2 advantage once upon a time, on the precipice of sending us to map number 2 quite convincingly, now being pulled back aggressively from the edge, and it looks like Millenium have tuned up that aggression to 11 right now, is just aggressively trying to get in and assault the objective, disregarding map control, and it's working out a lot better here on Villa than, as we saw yesterday, it would work out on a map like Consulate. So
Attackers must locate.
One round away from sending us to overtime, the last possible round of regulation, as we've now seen 5 apiece. This will be the 5th defensive round for Cloud9, and they let the 3-round lead evaporate. That's going to be pretty demoralizing, because we haven't seen that quite happen just yet. We saw a 2-round lead surrendered to Mocket and then pushed to overtime, but still got the win. We haven't really seen them falter this hard yet, at least the games that we've seen, but also they've been very convincing. You know, I said we were lining up for another 6-2, which has been very familiar, and it's been very familiar for Cloud9 specifically. 6-2ing EG, 6-1ing EG, 6-2ing Mouse, 6-1ing Mouse. Like, this has been constant for Cloud9. I'm starting to worry about the stamina a little bit, although after that marathon of a game against Mocket on the first day, I'm not too concerned. I'm just thinking that Millenium are starting to really warm up now. Yeah, and I think Millennium's understanding that if they push, there's no counter from Cloud9. Cloud9 lives and dies off of the roam. If you allow Mark and Laxton to pick your team apart, even someone with Foxay jumping in, then Cloud9 wins. Cloud9 wins more often than they don't. But if you can negate the roamers by just aggressively pushing the site and possibly forcing the roamers to have to try and go for flanks, then Cloud9 is essentially defanged, and that's the way that Millenium has been playing it, just pushing quickly, negating the advantage that Cloud9 has in the way that Cloud9 sets things up. Ace is looking to try to maybe break that door that already looked to be open. That's a swing and a miss right there. They'll be droned in. You'll see Renshiro will drone him right to the stairs, and of course the drone's stopping at the goo mine. That's laxing position on the stairs, and if he moves, he'll be fed right into Aces. That Ash does not miss, and those banisters on the side of the stairs are not metal, so bullets will go right through them. One of the best players on Cloud9, silenced. Renshiro once again on 90 window as the Blackbeard repelled, but steady control here. Oh, Aces looks away at just the wrong time. Foxay will escape to safety. Doesn't take a single bullet of damage. Still a 4v5 deficit here for Cloud9, trying to wrap up map number 1, but it's slowly slipping away from them as Millenium have picked up their pace. They're all collapsing around the objective now. Not a lot of stalling out for them. They have plenty of time, plenty of utility utilized, and there goes another member of Cloud9, almost a third as it was Retro about to fall, but Goddess coming out from behind the bar, immediately traded out by Aces once again. Retro going to be revived, so it's a free reset, but it's Mark and Retro stuck inside of the vault. The Ash Charge goes off and claims Retro. It's all Mark now. He grabs one onto the Liven, but he's got 3 more to find to send us to map 2. No, it'll be Aces, another 3K to push the deficit to overtime after being down 5-2. Aces just absolutely no contributions on the scoreboard heading into the 4th round of this matchup without a single kill, and now I think he's tied for top frag on this team based upon my back of the napkin math. We'll see when the scoreboard comes up if that's the case. And 12 kills, so not tied, but taking over the lead, putting 12 kills on the board in 6 rounds. Not bad, 2 kills around, pretty consistent, pretty steady, but he's what, 3 3Ks of those 12. That's impressive. So first round overtime, trophy room and statuary room, as C9 will be given the defense twice from the coin flip. And trophy room, statuary room, we've seen Cloud9 play on it twice. They won the first time, largely, as you said, most of the action happening very far off site. Second time around, most of the action happening on the site, and that pace was very much dictated and controlled by Millenium. I mean, it's better late than never for Aces to wake up, and woken up he has. Foxay, instead of going for the Capcan, going to be going for the Frost, so a lot of surprise picks coming out in 6th pick for Cloud9. Try and trap up Millenium as their aggression, again, has increased tenfold. My biggest question mark here is for Cloud9, as they are, again, setting up to try and hold the far side of the map over by Aviator and Games Room. Once they've seen that pure neglect of any kind of map control from Millenium, they just want to swarm the objective every round. Is it really worth it to invest all of this utility in a 6th pick and reinforcements over on the far side of the map if you're fairly confident right now that nobody on Millenium is going to be entering on that side? What I'd like to see from Cloud9 is a swap up to a downstairs roam. We saw Millenium utilizing the verticality, using the nitro cells from below and a Valkyrie and a Pulse. Yes, that telegraphs what you're doing, but if you can hold down the kitchen by yourself, which is a pretty defensible room when you're only dealing with a 1 or 2 person roam clear, you're in a good spot to at least hold out, especially when Millenium are getting very aggressive and overzealous, trying to immediately push into the objective. You can catch them off guard with a well-placed nitro cell.
Yeah, but I mean, nothing really Cloud9 has done over the last 3 rounds has caught Millenium off guard. Whether it's Millenium just reading it very correctly, we saw a number of drones. Aces had 2 drones, and at the very end being escorted in by Renshiro's drone in particular. Renshiro's not exactly known as being a strong communicator either for this team, yet was doing a sufficient job to get the Ash in. That wall's gonna blow up right in Goddess's face. The Maestro there just trying to hold that long angle next to the reinforced wall. Also, the castle barricades will slow them down. So as I think you said it correctly, Cloud9 is just trying to throw everything, including the kitchen sink at this wall, to get Millenium to maybe take a bit of a breather and fight on Cloud9's terms, as it's been all Millenium for the last 3 rounds. Like you said, a lead squandered 5-2 in overtime. C9 only taking 2 defensive rounds, but Millenium also taking 2 defensive rounds. This has been an attacker-sided contest thus far, and that's going to benefit Millenium as they get to attack twice.
So we can take down the bandit charges. AES is being burned. The frag grenade over top, and there go the bandit batteries. Lyven taking almost half his health taken away from him as he's downstairs on a little bit of a roam clear. It's going to be still have the thermite, not a big deal. And Foxy is going to start things off with the C1. Ace is going to trade him right back out as he pushes the safety of the east stairs. Another flanker coming from below, so they did go for that verticality, the downstairs roam, but it gets picked apart by Aces on a 1-man push. Mark and Foxy both fall off, and Laxing is now going to have to push up the astronomy stairs to try and hold off this bathroom assault that has been so powerful from Millenium.
Excellent game knowledge there from Aces to immediately hold the cross to see if there's going to be a push in from the door of kitchen as well. It did appear that somebody from C9 was going to push in that angle, but they thought better of it. Laxing sitting with that ADS means that he's going to be immune to any possible projectiles. Of course, Rise with the 2 frag grenades could make a dent here, but he's already used them both. The intended target was to try and take care of those bandit batteries. Now Aces from below is going to set up shop, and that's where we saw him last time around. He's got 2 kills, looking for another on the stairs. Maestro of Goddess coming tantalizingly close to the reticle, but Aces unfortunately pulls out his projectile. Goddess will be able to jump all over him. Rise with 2, fired up, ready to go. Goddess last one up, but Renshiro is there holding the angle. Shades of Retro on that Blackbeard. Millenium now taking 4 rounds in a row, and they now sit on match point for the first time in this matchup.
Millenium were on the precipice of being victorious quite convincingly on map 1, like I said, on Villa. And now we are 1 round away from Millenium taking Villa 4 straight for Millenium on their attacking side. And they'll have to swap to the defense now for the first, or their second round of overtime. And they're going to go to Living Room Library again. The one thing that I have for this site is it did stall out Cloud9 very, very long. It's, again, a 5v5 with about 20 seconds remaining last time around that C9 attacked this objective. And Millenium came out on top. I'm very surprised that Millenium are going to risk this, because something like this stall out strat and this kind of surprise pick, it usually only works once. You pull out a wild card like this, it works once. It's not going to work again, because C9 will have become a little more efficient. They have refined some things just even by playing 1 round on it. They'll have remembered where players were set up, what the anchor hold was, what the roaming setup was. Millenium can change things, but with this specific objective, it's kind of just about the stall out. I think there's way too many breachable walls surrounding the objective to make it super viable to hold for an extended period of time.
Just as Aces has heated up, Laxing has cooled off. Of course, our spectator drawing attention to the fact that Aces now sits at 14 kills. Came very close to breaking the single kill record on a coastline matchup just a couple months back. The record, I believe, is held by Pengu with 22 or 23 kills. Of course, we saw Ness get very close as well with 19 kills in Atlantic City en route to Liquid's victory. And 19 kills, I think actually might have come against Millenium, if I remember correctly. But
in position.
Also, worth noting that the tactical pause, the tactical timeout for Millenium to regroup and confer with their team and speak with their coach came when they were down 4-2. Since that timeout, they have only lost 1 round. So whatever that talk did, whether that was when the read to be more aggressive came out, whether that was just the extra sight that Krapel could possibly give to the team to help them possibly right that ship, well, it worked, and the ship is cruising in the right direction. Match point in favor of Millenium. Library, they get to defend. It has been mostly attacker-sided, so just based on how things have gone now, you should suspect that the attackers should be able to take this. That would push us to the ultimate overtime, but it really depends on how C9 pushes. They've got a good amount of utility. Foxy not dying early like we've seen before, is going to be instrumental. He's going to be able to not just use that sidearm shotgun from above to possibly create some vertical pressure, because the only other operator that is capable of doing that is Mark, and he hasn't been typically playing those roles on that Sophia, while also being able to track, while Foxay also being able to track any roamers in any play off-site with his Inox, as it's called.
Cloud9 moving a little swifter, at least on the top side of the map, trying to at least have some flank holds in place and make sure they're not dealing with any surprises from behind like they did last time. I believe a bandit coming out of nowhere to the woodwork and throwing a real wrench in the plan as they all try to execute onto the objective. There's a bandit in the hallway just causing a lot of havoc, so not trying to deal with that this time around. Like you said, in the Pro League matchup for Cloud9 on Villa, Foxay using that secondary shotgun to rip up the floor, this time from above instead of below. Same effect, though. He's, okay, a little bit more than 8 meters away. Wow, okay. Utilizing the full extent of that range update on the Inox scanner. Get a Jackal ping out onto a player playing on the objective. Mark coming in from behind, and there goes Rise once again. The concussion nade is going to trigger right at Rise's feet as he pushes into the corner, trying to hold a very tight angle with a shotgun behind the desk.
And that was Rise being able to shut down this push with not just the Toxic Babes, but also 2 or 3 kills at the very final moments of this round. He's staying alive is going to be the real linchpin here and the cornerstone for this defense. But being caught out, the Maestro almost taken down. There you go, Rise, though. As the smoke is eliminated, Hicks will be able to get away safely, and they managed to find the smoke quite well. Rise, who, like I said before, was a big reason why Millenium kept this alive, will be felled first and foremost. Joining him will be Renshiro. Plant goes down quite successfully. Nobody there to counter Goddess, and a missed throw from Live and tries to retrieve the C4. Unwise, it's a lockout as C9 takes 5 kills, 0 deaths, en route to a tie at 6-6. Both teams on match point. Wow, what a shot. And X, not formally going by XYZ, just going back to Hicks, will credit the shot at Retro.
Going the distance on map number 1 for our first semifinal. Can't really complain. It's been a great match so far. Like I said before that round started, Millenium, the wildcard pick of the or I guess the least picked objective on Villa. Wildcard works once, and it won't work again. Cloud9 much swifter and much more set up for that specific push. Like you said, though, Villa has been attacking sided at least today, and C9 will have to defend to make sure they lock out this map, as they did have that 3-round advantage. They were 1 round away from closing it out and surrendered all of that momentum and success, allowing it to slip to overtime, losing the first round of OT. Able to bring it back. Foxay getting a 6-pick to a Maestro. So looking like Cloud9's going to try and anchor a little bit harder onto the objective. They're going to go back to Trophy and Statuary. That's an interesting call. They, again, they haven't been baiting anyone into the far side roam, and that was the only round they were successful on this objective. They've left a player, both times they've lost this objective on the defense, they've left a player in a 1v3.
Yeah, they have not had an answer for Millenium's aggression whatsoever, and now this is going to be the 4th crack at Trophy. They've only been successful 1 time, and that was the first round before the tactical pause that benefited Millenium so far. No tactical timeout that's been taken from C9 to the best of our knowledge, which seems like the potential is there for them, but I guess they don't need it. Now, keep in mind, every team, there's no penalty to taking one. Every team is given 1 30-second tactical pause to talk to your team, regroup, think about your thoughts, do what you need to do. Maybe even just take a breather from the game for a short period of time. Cloud9 not using theirs at all in this matchup, as they can't take it, obviously, at the conclusion of this round, because at the conclusion of this round will be the conclusion of the game. But here we go, more aggression as Aces just breaks right in, heads towards the main stairs. We'll now go to Classical Hall as he's sitting, and he'll get the cam at 90. Renshiro working away at the soft wall, decent caliber-based destruction on that Scar as it can just tear through the wall. So Millenium already setting a brisk tempo here.
Setting up a couple flank drones, ironically, on top of one another, and that's Aces, the man we talked about having possibly some communication issues and being a very new addition to the team. That's some of the small mistakes that will happen from time to time, but it looks like Millenium are actually entertaining the facade that is the setup of a far side roam. I mean, Cloud9 have come over and put up some wooden barricades and made some kill holes and possibly use an impact for a rotate here or there. there is nobody physically over here. So a good time waster and a good bait from Cloud9, and I'm surprised that Millenium would even enter in on the far side after they've had so much success on their bottom floor roam clear, and then pushing through bathroom and just grabbing the site from the backside. Lots of shots, and Goddess has been down from the rooftop as Renshiro, looking south, has been able to down her. She'll get revived though, so losing 50 HP for free. Now a bit of a hop out as the rest of the push for Millenium is clearing from south to north.
I think that's an angle that a lot of people didn't think existed. Don't be too surprised
I didn't know
to
it
see that
existed.
popping up an awful lot now as Ace is having a great degree of difficulty with that bulletproof game.
Back above, and the drones coming through, so Millenium not pushing with as much aggression as last time. It was Aces kind of soloing in. Finally, we have some master control from Millenium as they've been so quick to do so in the past. Shots through the castle, barricade from the staircase. The deployable shield on his face, saving Renshiro's life just barely. Now breaching open the left side statue door, trying to push out a master. Everybody prone and in some hiding angles as it's up to Cloud9 to kill the clock here and not necessarily take the engagements too frequently. It's up to Millenium to push in, and again, we're coming down to a 5v5 with limited time on the board, and that's gone the defensive way twice in a row when it's happened, but Ace is going to gun down Goddess for the first kill as he tries to enter into the other side objective, but Retro immediately trades it back. Aces falls, Frag Grenade taking down an Evil Eye. It's one less for Foxay to use. 20 seconds ticking down in the final round of Villa, but the plant being completed by Rise. This is one of the new additions to this attack, as we haven't seen many attempts for the plant on the side of Millenium. Plant gets completed, no one in sight, a 4v4 post-plant. This is now looking a lot better for Millenium, but it's in an awkward place to cover. Foxay is going to take down Live, and so a good bit of a success here. Foxay adds on, losing the shield is Renshiro. He's going to have to battle back. He's already lost one previously, or still has one remaining now. Hicks firing in through the bathroom and the walk-in closet. That's laxing down. Renshiro grabs one. Foxay with his third on the round, pressing in. He gets down. It's down to the 1v1. Hicks against Retro. Health advantage in Hicks' favor. Retro has to push. He's going to be in a bad position if he tries to stick the defuse. He's running out of time, and he's going to elect to stick it, but Hicks needs to get the call. Hicks rushing in now. He's got the holographic. He's pre-frying the wrong corner. He's in the corner. No! Retro sticks it. Cloud9 win Villa.
Oh my word. Hicks firing in the wrong spots. That is a tragic, tragic mistake for Millenium, playing that all wrong, and Retro getting it by a hair. What? Remarkable. That is a real tilter for Millenium.